Those are the times when we feel hopeless, tired, worn out, frustrated, depressed. We have those feelings like, oh, I'm doing it again. I just don't know if I can do this again. Well, when you think you're doing it, then of course it's going to be hard. But when you are hand in hand with the universal consciousness, nothing is impossible. Nothing. Hear me on this. Nothing is impossible. So when we believe that our source of supply is universal mind, is God, is spirit, is divine law, there is nothing and no thing that can stand in between you and your good except you and your belief in that. I also love too, the more, like I said, the more you plant a thing, like I'm an expert. I got something watermelon crop expert person. I got a little sign that has a watermelon on it. Because now I am whatever they called me. And I was like, ooh, look at me, I got a sign, I'm an expert. So what I love also too is that my farm has changed. My farm has changed, and I have had crop circles. I've had a balloon. Like I said, you can have a green cow, pink cow, brown cow. I have an elephant. You can do the carnival thing. You can do the Christmas thing. And then there was a fall thing where I had all these trees with buckets of sap, and you could get a pile of leaves, you know. And it's like you can change. You could get a hay bale. It's very exciting. Okay, so also too, what's kind of tricky is every once in a while you think that you got your thing set. You go in, and all your animals are running helter-skelter, which I think is very interesting because I tell them to stay, but they don't. And it's kind of like our thoughts. We tell them to stay, but they don't. They have their way with us. They run helter-skelter. A lot of times, our thoughts are like marbles on a hardwood floor. It's very hard to collect them. Most of the time, we don't even know what it is that we're thinking, do we? Because our thoughts have their way with us. Well, what is so powerful about this teaching is that it is a teaching, and it's a way for us to train our minds to think in the way that we were born to think. We were born to be creative manifestors with universal mind. We were born to be creative manifestors with universal mind. The only reason we are not manifesting the desires of our hearts is because we have a belief that we are not divine representations of the One. Well, Kelly's going, well. The other thing I like about Farmville is that you're not afraid to change. Nothing is fixed in Farmville. Everything changes. We're flexible with, oh, well, my cow is now in with my chickens. And my horse was in with my elephants. And my turkey, well, it got in in the chicken coop. Well, how'd that happen? Okay, it didn't fit. Okay, so nothing is permanent, and we're really okay in Farmville for everything to change. But in the real world, oh, it's changing. Well, get used to that, because the universe is constantly changing and expanding. And if we are not changing, we are stagnating. So when things are changing, say, woo! Hands up, wild ride, okay? Be okay with it. Allow yourself to do this with it. Sometimes, you know, you get that upset stomach, whoa, over the big hump, right? And it's like when you get to the top of the hill, you're like, oh, and the bottom feels like it's falling out. But you know what? No matter what has really happened in our lives, as bad as it is felt at the time, as scary as it is felt, Becky told me the other day, she said this, and she said, you know what? As great as my imagination is and as big as my fears are, I have never manifested anything as scary as I have imagined in my life. Think of your wildest fears. Have they ever truly, truly, truly shown up as scary and horrific and as ugly and as creepy as you think they're going to? No. Because you know why? Dr. Michael Beckwith says this. God does not call the qualified. God qualifies the called. And so what that says to me is that whatever I am presented with in life, when it hits me, I'm ready to handle it. Because I am hand in hand with universal mind, and therefore I will always be ready to handle whatever it is. Even when I get to the top of that hill and the bottom feels like it's going to drop out, something inside of me will be in that co-creative relationship with the divine, with God, with the beloved, with spirit, with law, with universal mind, whatever you want to call it, your higher power. And you will be okay. So the reason I'm talking about this today is because I am really tired of listening to the news and hearing about the economy. How about you? And I'll be honest, I have fallen into it a couple times, believing, feeling like I got to cut back because there goes my good. I hear about people losing their jobs, going through their life savings, people without insurance who are dealing with health issues. There's some scary stuff going on in people's lives. It's real because you make it real. Hear that. You make it as real as it needs to be. I'm not saying stuff doesn't happen, but we have within our consciousness the greatest tool ever given to us. The same tool that was given to that magnificent man, teacher, master teacher, Rabbi Jesus, our mind. And a belief system that allows us to know that anything is possible through our conscious, co-creative connection with Source. Can you hear me on that? How do we do that? How do we implement that? Practice. We continue to practice. So let me ask you a question. If it's not Facebook or it's not Farmville, who plays games? Be honest. Stick your hand up. Who has ever wasted any time in their day? Who watches TV? Watches mindless TV. Okay, good. So that would be, 95% of us. How much time are you spending on your spiritual practices? Because therein lies the solution to any problem that you have. In order for us to train, how much time do you think that Olympic athlete trains to make their bodies be so reactive that they don't even have to think to make a muscle fire? They spend a lifetime. They spend a lifetime. They are so disciplined. How do you think the Tibetan lamas can lower their heart rate? They have spent a lifetime in spiritual practice. I'm not saying that watching TV is bad. I'm not saying playing Farmville is bad, because I'm not bad. What I am saying is, let's get real. Let's shift our perspective. Have you ever felt like a victim? Get over it, because you're not. Nobody is doing anything to you. The world is not doing anything to you. The economy is not doing anything to you. Because let me tell you, there are people out there who are getting healthy who have had diagnoses. There are people out there who have lost their jobs and who are getting rich. There are people out there who have wrecked their car and are given a brand new one. There are people out there that are given places to live. There are people out there because they believe that where something is removed, something else will be replaced. Because there's an endless supply. We are swimming in a sea of possibilities, yet we can only see what's right here in front of us. So are you a victim? Are you pitiful or powerful? Say it again.
Powerful.
Let's say it like you mean it. I am powerful. I want you to repeat after me, because this is going to be very, very important that you get this. Because I don't care who you are, there was some place in someone's life, somewhere, for a brief second, to where we feel victimized. Someone is mean to us, they've judged us, they looked at us wrong, we didn't get what it is we think that we should have gotten. Something was taken away from us. Somewhere, somehow, we feel sorry for ourselves, sometimes, just a little bit. It is within our power, our creative consciousness, to change that. So I want you to say right now, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do this together. This is going to be a collective, spiritual mind, affirmative treatment that we're going to do together, okay? It's not going to be long, it's not going to be detailed, but it's going to be very powerful, and I want you to say it like you mean it, okay? I now give up the belief that I am ever victimized. I now claim that I am a powerful co-creator with my higher power. And so it is. You have just said, there it is. So it's time to give up being timid and be bold. Live your life right here, right now. Be okay with making, to take risks. What's the worst thing that can happen? Somebody says no. I would rather be full out in my life, streaming ahead, running into obstacles, and given the opportunity to redirect course and to be creative with how I'm going to get around something, than to be stagnant and sitting in myself, wishing away my life. Because let me tell you something. It doesn't matter what path you're on, whether you think you're on the right path or the wrong path. If you're standing still, life is passing you by. You have to move. You have got to move.